welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddie if you're new here. Today we are going to be doing an Assassin's Blade reading vlog. This is technically like the prequel to the Throne of Glass series. There is a lot of discourse online about when you should read this book. I have decided to read it third. So far I've read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. Loved both of those. I started this last week while I was home in Montana and got about halfway through. So I've already been through 3 of the little short stories, little novellas that are in here. I have already read The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, The Assassin and the Healer, and The Assassin and the Desert. So I am moving on now to The Assassin and the Underworld. So I'm really excited. So far, I am absolutely loving this book. It's going down super easy. I love the novella format. They're just like really quick, good stories. And they honestly all have like a resolution, which I'm really surprised about. I kind of thought they would all be like cliffhangers or whatnot, but no, not the case. They all are like beginning to end stories, which is really cool. The first novella in this book is called The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, and I really enjoyed this one. It is our first introduction to Sam Courtland while he is alive and well, and we get to see kind of him and Selena's relationship grow. In the beginning of the story, they kind of butt heads, it feels like, and then by the end, Selena kind of catches feelings for Sam, which is kind of cute. That story was really interesting. I was not seeing, like, I did not foresee the slave plot twist where they actually went there to secure slaves, and I'm so glad that she decided to, like, free the slaves, and Sam helped her with that, so that was awesome. That story resolves with them freeing the slaves, and Selena forces the Pirate Lord to never sell slaves again and sign these papers so that she can take it back to the Assassin Master, and that's kind of where that story ends up. And then the next short story is The Assassin and the Healer, and it starts with us finding out that Selena and Sam have been separated. Selena got in a ton of trouble at the Assassin's Keep for freeing the slaves. Not really shocking at all, but it goes more in depth about how she really is feeling about Sam, how much she misses him. We're starting to see kind of that relationship grow, but he's not present for this story. Anyways, this takes place in this like small town. She's traveling to another Assassin's Keep in the desert. And she stopped in this small port town waiting to catch a ship or something, I think. And she is in this inn and stumbles upon this young healer. The healer ends up needing her help. Selena teaches her how to use self-defense, saves her from some guys trying to attack her, and Selena ends up giving a ton of money to this healer so that the healer can go on her way. She has been kind of like stuck at this inn trying to save money, but it's the innkeeper is kind of screwing her over, and Selena notices that, kind of figures that out, and gives her a ton of money so that she can hopefully leave and go on to do better things, go study at this healer's academy. And so that was a really sweet, endearing story. I really liked that. I'm really hoping we see more of this healer. I think her name was Irene, if I'm right. I'm really hoping we see more of Irene maybe in the future. Maybe she comes back into Selena's life at some point, because that was just super heartwarming. I liked that one. It ends with Selena going on with her journey to the desert, which is where the next novella picks up, which is The Assassin in the Desert. And this one was crazy. So this one was the longest of them so far, and it was a crazy one. It starts with Selena finishing her journey to this like silent assassin's house training facility. We find out she was sent there by her master to learn to be like loyal and follow directions better as like a punishment for freeing the slaves in the first little short story. So she reaches the Silent Assassin's Keep and starts to make some friends, and turns out her best friend in the keep ends up betraying her and all of the other assassins to better her own agenda, like the friend's agenda, and that was a plot twist I did not see coming, and it was our first kind of betrayal that we've seen in this from like Selena's backstory, kind of. And it was really sad. I was really sad. This other assassin ends up killing many of Selena's friends that she made at the keep and almost kills the master. The master ends up breaking his vow of silence to give Selena some words of advice and send her on her way back to the Assassin's Keep in Rifthold. And he tells her like how she's being treated is not okay, and This is the story where she steals the Asterian mare, I think. That really fancy horse that Dorian gifts Kale, and she like briefly in I believe Crown of Midnight, she is like, oh, I stole one of those once, and they were both like, what? So we get to hear that story, which is so cool. And then I also think like the witches story that Selena says comes from this short story as well. She talks about how she had a friend once that told her this lore about witches when she's discussing like Baba Yellowlegs in also Crown of Midnight, I believe, yes. And so I think that also comes from this book, which is cool to see those like come full circle and kind of get more information on those. So that's why I'm really, really liking this book, and I am glad that I read it third so far. So tonight we are diving in, hopefully finishing the last two short stories in The Assassin's Blade. And I know that comes with, I believe, Sam Cortland's death. And I'm really liking Sam. I'm really liking that character. I'm trying to brace myself for the impact of his death because, as we know, it's inevitable. Since I am reading this third, I do know that he has already passed. And it seems to be in a very traumatic way. So I'm not really ready for that to happen, but it happens in that many pages. So it's coming up, and we're gonna have to reach that point tonight. But we are about to dive right in, finish off these last two short stories in here, and I hope there's other stories that we've kind of heard briefly of in Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight that tie to this. And then I'm also just really excited to see how exactly she ends up in Endovir. So let's jump right into The Assassin's Blade. They kissed. Oh, she kissed him. We are 312 pages in, and she finally fucking kissed Sam. She has been, I don't like you, pushing this dude away for 300 pages. Finally, dude. And now there's like only 100 pages left. So I know he dies within 100 pages, and she took this long to kiss him. She's really going to regret that. I think we're all really going to regret that. She had the spider silk put into his suit, not hers. And it saved his life. Oh, stop. I love that so much. Oh my God. This is gonna kill me. This death is gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me. I might just stop now. Maybe it's best to just believe that they lived happily ever after and never pick this series up ever again. Okay, I just finished The Assassin in the Underworld, and I should have stopped. I should have just stopped reading when they had that little heartfelt moment, and it was all happy-go-lucky, because then we find out that Arabin tricked them, which I knew this deal sounded fishy because it just didn't make sense in the beginning. When he was like explaining it to her, it just didn't make any sense to me. And so I should have known something was off. But Arabin tricked her, and it was just nasty. And then he spent all of the gold she paid him off all of her debts with to buy that stupid ass Lysandra, and just to rub it in her face. But then Selena sold her Asterian horse to the lady who tricked her, essentially, but she used that money to pay off Sam. So Sam is now free, which is amazing, and they're moving into Selena's apartment, and I know this is just probably where it goes bad. I'm guessing they have maybe like a week of joy or something. I know it's gonna be heartbreaking, and I'm gonna want to die, but oh, I'm getting stressed. I'm getting so stressed. I keep trying to gaslight myself into thinking like, maybe everybody's wrong. Maybe the entire internet is wrong and Sam actually lives, and it's all one big joke on me, and the whole internet's just been waiting for me to read it, and Sam doesn't actually die, and it's gonna be a one big joke. So that's what I'm trying to gaslight myself into right now, and that's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Honestly, yeah. Not even afraid to admit that that's pathetic. It is. So, less than 100 pages to go in this book, and I fear I might not recover. Pray for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish last night. I am still under 100 pages left to go. I was starting to get like a little drowsy. Not to the point that I would normally quit reading, but I knew it was a bad ending coming. I could feel it coming soon. I'm on like, I think I'm on like chapter 6 of the final novella, and it's getting scary. I think he's gonna die in the next chapter or so. So I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I said I need a good night's sleep. My emotional support blanket is out of town, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't just cry myself to sleep all alone. So it's the next day. We took a good night's rest. I convinced myself into believing that they lived happily ever after so that I could sleep just fine. And now it's the next day. I have made a very good cup of coffee. It's beautiful. Very proud of it. Hopefully this will make the torture that these last 100 pages is going to be a little better. But I can't put it off any longer, so let's go witness Sam Cortland's brutal death. Ooh. Guys, I'm not ready for this. Oh my god, not the lavender soap too. I'm trying my best not to cry, but that was really, really sad. And the fact that the man that Sam wanted Selena away from the most is the one that had to tell her that Sam wasn't with them anymore is just devastating. Oh my god. I knew it was coming. I knew it would be in the next 2 chapters. I think it was like 2 chapters away from where I stopped last night. I knew it was coming. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're at page 401. We only have like 20 pages left. Let's just get through this and try to move on with our day. But what a shitty way to start a day. Oh. I finished it. A heart-wrenching book from start to finish, really. I am very glad I read this third, and not first like half the internet says. It's a very divisive topic for book talk when it comes to Sarah J. Maas, is when to read this book. Last night I finished The Assassin in the Underworld, and that was a really good short story. We got to see Sam and Selena become partners. The relationship flourished and took off. They finally kissed, and everything was just sunshine and rainbows. And then we get into The Assassin in the Empire, which is the final short story in this book of novellas. Oh my gosh. And I knew it was coming, and I still feel like I wasn't prepared. I knew it was coming. I kept telling myself over and over and over again, this is going to happen. He's going to die. It's not a happy ending. It's a very sad ending. We know that. We know this girl has trauma. And it still hit me like a truck. I couldn't even finish it last night. I had to put it down because I just didn't think I could sleep after reading it. So I ended up finishing it this morning, and I don't even know if that was a good decision because now my whole day feels sad. But I did finish it. Sam did die. It wasn't some cruel joke the internet was playing on me. It really happened. But this was a beautiful book. This is beautifully written. Every short story in here is beautiful, and I loved all of the themes, every like underlying lesson she learned. I love being able to tie it into the 2 books I've already read, Throne of Glass, Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. I love seeing more of Selena, like her backstory. This book still does not give us a lot of insight into where she came from as a child. I think we're maybe going to get more of that in the next book, which is Heir of Fire, which is what I will be reading next in this series. I know nothing about this book going in. I think the extent of my knowledge on the Throne of Glass series has ended. I knew Sam died, and I knew Selena became Aelin Galathinius, which we found out at the end of Crown of Midnight. And so this, I think, is where my knowledge is done. I think now I'm going into a blind. I know the last book is as emotionally damaging as Assassin's Blade, probably more so emotionally damaging, and so we're going into this blind, and I'm really, really excited for that. I gave Assassin's Blade 5 stars. I know that sounds crazy. I loved it. I loved every page of this. So this is my this is my third 5-star read of the year. So far, I've rated Crown of Midnight 5 stars, Bride 5 stars, and now Assassin's Blade 5 stars. So I am hopeful going into Heir of Fire if this is going to be the 4th 5-star read of 2025 headed into 2026. I don't know. It's been a really good month of reading for me, so I'm really excited. If you made it this far, thank you for sticking around for my Assassin's Blade reading vlog. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you did enjoy watching it, I hope you come back for my Heir of Fire reading vlog, which will be coming in the coming weeks. As for today, I'm actually going to be starting my first Christmas read of the year, which is The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score, I believe. I have it on my Kindle. It was on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm really excited to read that. So stay tuned for that reading vlog, as well as the Heir of Fire reading vlog coming in the next couple of weeks. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!